This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight now, we bring you a discussion on Pravasi Bharatiya Divas-contributing to AatmaNirbhar Bharat. The participants are Skand Ranjan Tayal, former diplomat, and Simran Sodhi, journalist.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today addressed the 16th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas convention, and the Prime Minister also made a number of important points, among which he pointed out that India is ready to roll out 2 Made in India COVID-19 vaccines, and the Prime Minister touched on a number of issues which have been very important in India's outreach to non-resident Indians and the Indian diaspora in the world. Ambassador Tayal, when we see the Prime Minister's outreach to the Indian diaspora, and we have also seen how actively India has reached out to the diaspora, how significant has been the participation of the Indian diaspora in India's development and foreign policy outreach?
The Indian diaspora is now estimated to be almost of about 40 million abroad, of which about 17.5 million are Indian passport holders. And these people who are abroad, whether in first generation or from many generations, they are very well connected with India. And what I have seen in my postings abroad is that their heart beats for India. Sincerely, they are very patriotic if they are a national of another country, but they want India to prosper and they want to contribute to India's prosperity. And our non-resident Indians or people of Indian origin are doing it in many, many ways. One, of course, all of us know that the remittances which come to India every year are almost $80 billion per year. And that helps a lot in our foreign exchange management. Then, very directly, as what Prime Minister was referring to for development of India, the NRIs or people of Indian origin, particularly who are in the United States and West Europe, they have acted as a bridge for transfer of technology to India, transfer of knowledge to India, and often to invite investments into India. The information technology revolution in India from the late 1990s because of the Y2K problem and earlier in this century was really fueled by people of Indian origin who worked in the west coast of United States. So now if we look at the future, then the diaspora can help in innovation and R&D in India, because Prime Minister has also said earlier, and the Niti Aayog, etc., have all said that in India there is some deficiency in the area of innovation. And Indian scientists and Indian IT experts, software experts, they are doing very well when they are abroad. So how they can work to make innovation possible in India? And for that, very recently a facility had been started called Vajra, visiting advanced joint research faculty. So there are many ways in which diaspora is participating, and indirectly also we know that many NGOs are being supported very big financially by our Indian people abroad, particularly in the area of primary education and health. In NGOs like Pratham, Ekal Vidyalaya is doing a huge work in tribal areas of India, and much of financial support is coming from people of Indian origin abroad.
Ambassador Tayal, when we see what the Prime Minister said today about Indian democracy, and the PM very clearly stated that if democracy is most strong, vibrant and lively anywhere in the world, it is in India. Do you feel that when you look around the world today and we see some democracies in the world which are not doing too well, and we look at India where we have a very strong, vibrant democracy, it is a compliment not just to the country but to the diaspora and to the way India has come up in the world today?
Very much so. In the last 70 years, by repeated elections, peaceful transfer of power, and different parties have been in power both at the center and in our states, India has proved that the people of India believe in democracy, they practice democracy, and they accept the results of democracy. Unfortunately, what the world saw in the last 2-3 days in the United States, which is really the cradle of democracy in the sense that it is the oldest democracy, almost 250 years old, but there the incumbent president refused to accept the verdict of the ballot, and it created very unpleasant scenes. So Prime Minister is right that India has come across as a very strong champion of democracy all over the world and also a practitioner of democracy, where the institutions are strong and people's will expressed through the ballot is accepted by all the political parties as well as leaders. And in this process, now the people of Indian origin, well, NRIs are those who hold Indian passports but are abroad. They have a demand that they should be allowed to vote in India, and Prime Minister as well as our Electoral Commission is sympathetic to this demand, and some process are being worked out. There are about 17 million people of Indian passport holders abroad, of which more than 10 million may be voters. The rest may be children under 18 years of age. But how they can participate fully in India's democratic process by voting, that is being worked out. And it is a quite normal practice in many other democracies like US, UK, etc., where even when their national is outside the country, he or she can vote. So this is a work in progress, and there will be more direct participation of NRIs in India's democratic process in the years to come.
Mr. Tayal, we see that the theme of the 16th PBD convention has been contributing to AatmaNirbhar Bharat. And we also see this reflected in the fact, and this is something the Prime Minister also emphasized, and that is the fact that India today has 2 vaccines which have been produced in India. And this is going to assist not only Indians in the recovery from the corona pandemic, it's also going to assist humanity as a whole. How do you feel that the Indian diaspora, which has spread all over the globe today and stands in assistance in this battle against corona, how significant is this development?
India's progress, India's future, and also for employment of very young population of India, it is very important that there is more and more manufacturing in India, and that is really the root of this call of AatmaNirbhar Bharat, which Prime Minister has given. And in that process, of course, all the people of India will be working, but people of Indian origin abroad, our diaspora, can also make a very tangible and very direct contribution by 2 or 3 ways. One, by channelizing investments into India and making it possible for more direct transfer of technology for investments into India, and also by supporting innovation and research and development in India. The 2 vaccines, one is being totally developed in India, Covaxin, and Covid Shield has been developed abroad but will be produced in India. It is a huge achievement for India's vaccine producing capacity and our scientific community. And as is being said, that India is poised to emerge as the pharmacy of the world, and that is the path on which we are moving. And in that, our diaspora abroad can be a partner and can help move faster and farther in that direction.
Mr. Tayal, we also see that the Prime Minister touched on the Vande Bharat mission, and we have seen that this has been a very successful project under the government. The PM told that the Indian diaspora, that the country always stands with them, and the PM pointed out that over 45 lakh people were rescued under the government's Vande Bharat mission during the pandemic. How important is it that India continued its mission of getting people back home, people of Indian origin who are working in various parts of the world, and when the need was there, we were able to run special flights and bring people back home? How important do you think this is for establishing the trust that India as a country has with its people who are working or are studying or for some reason are outside their own country?
India's diaspora very well knows that if they are in trouble, then Mother India will reach out to help them, and they can always find comfort in the lap of Mother India. We remember when there was a problem in Iraq 20-30 years ago, then how lakhs of Indians were rescued from there on special flights. And repeatedly, whether it is Lebanon, whether it is any other country where there has been some internal problem, Indian government, Indian airlines, ships, people of India have reached out to rescue our Indian diaspora from there and bring them back safely and very fast to India. And same principle was applied at a much larger scale this time under the Vande Bharat scheme, when millions of people of Indian origin and Indian nationals also were stranded in different countries because of the COVID restrictions on flights. And under Vande Bharat scheme, it was a very well coordinated scheme, masterminded by the government of India and implemented by Air India and other airlines with full support of officers, workers, staff at every level. And as you say, about 45 lakh people were brought back to India from on these flights. So that is a huge achievement.
Ambassador Payal, we also saw that the PM today said that today we have connected with the internet from various corners of the world, but our minds are always connected with Maa Bharti. And in the midst of these challenges, the way Indian origin colleagues across the world have worked, have done their duty, it is a matter of pride for all of us. When we talk of the Indian diaspora, and as PM has pointed out, that we have seen how Indians in various countries, whether it is the US, it is UK, we have seen people of Indian origin occupying positions of power. They are now CEOs and head of state and have contributed to the development of the world generally. How do you think then makes for the image of India globally? How is the Indian diaspora very significant as acting as ambassadors and projecting a global image of India which is positive?
You are absolutely right that the success of the people of Indian origin abroad brings a lot of glory back to Mother India, to India as a country, and Indians as a people. Now, Kamala Harris, which is of Indian origin, will be Vice President of United States. We have Nikki Haley, we have Bobby Jindal, and if you look at the corporate world, whether it is Sundar Pichai, head of Google, Satya Nadella, who is heading Microsoft, and Abhijit Banerjee, who got a Nobel Prize in Economics a few months back, Indra Nooyi, who was the CEO of Pepsi. So India as a country and Indians as a people are very, very well accepted in any society abroad, whether it is America, whether it is Europe, with other parts of the world, whether it is Australia, and that brings a lot of good image for India as a country.
Ambassador Payal, when we look at India and we also see the development of what we have called soft power in the world, and we have seen how India's dance, for example, yoga, Ayurveda, and other aspects of soft power, including Bollywood, for example. This is something which has spread in the world as the Indian diaspora has spread across the globe. How important is the growth of this soft power also in making our diaspora and eventually India a stronger nation?
That is very correct. For instance, yoga has been popularized all over the world by people of Indian origin who have gone there, have practiced it, and have taught it to their students. Indian food, Indian cuisine has been brought by the Indian diaspora. You go to any city in any Western country, and even in China, there are Indian restaurants in Korea, and they are all run by Indian diaspora. And people are so fond of chicken curry and naan, etc. And of course, films are there, but they also are a part of our soft power. And doctors and nurses, when I was in the United States, a lot of goodwill was created. Indian doctors and Indian nurses who worked tirelessly to serve their patients and earned a good name for themselves. And India also basked in that reflected glory because the patient always said that this great doctor, this very specialist doctor came from India.
And in the coming days, we will continue our discussions on the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas and the significance of the Indian diaspora globally. With this, we bring today's discussion to an end. Thank you.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on Pravasi Bharatiya Divas-contributing to AatmaNirbhar Bharat. The participants were Skand Ranjan Tayal, former diplomat, and Simran Sodhi, journalist. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app News on AIR. This program is also available on our website newsonair.com. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsttalks@gmail.com.